bathhouse.
You're going to the bathhouse.
Isn't that how you unwind after, like, what was it?
A major adventure? Yeah, sure.
A bile troll or something?
Look, I'm not here to impugn upon your role-playing. So you head to the bathhouse where the woman indicates to you is now only 1 silver to get a bath and your clothes cleaned as well.
Fantastic.
I'll give her a silver.
Okay. She looks over each of your clothes, which are covered in troll bile and partially eaten away by the troll acid.
I give her a second silver when she's looking at them.
Yeah, she says, I'll get them fixed up right away. When you go into the bathhouse, you know, there's like little private bathing areas, and then there's like the communal, everybody hops in something like a metal barrel out back, and you just look at each other as your head sticks out of your barrel. Bathing area. You know, the barrel's above a fire, held above a fire, that kind of deal. So you get some warm water. You can hear people talking. They're talking about the fishing hall's been pretty good. There's newcomers running around town now. The new wizard seems to be even less mysterious, but even more useless. At least he's brought a good levity. The current Toldorian fungus beer used for the local ale seems like it was a good harvest. A big ship must have come in recently and bought up all of the tree sap that is used to make magical ink. So people are glad because that money's trickling around the town. A man named Darnik has died, leaving a small workshop behind at an orphan who's being adopted by somebody else. And
what kind of workshop?
What
kind of workshop?
Do you ask somebody that? So are you in an individual bathing area inside the wooden building where you're getting hotboxed, or are you out back at the barrels?
I'm at the barrels.
Oh my goodness, you're drawing the barrels too. That's the best. All right, so one guy out there, he's got no hair, but he puts his towel on his head. He's got it folded up into like a little pad, and he turns and says, "I wasn't talking to you. Oh, Prince Ashe Heiral. Good to see you."
Yeah, we're
But
back.
I wasn't talking to you. What do you need?
I just wondering what kind of workshop it was.
Well, it's something of a generalist workshop, you know. It's got the tools to do a little bit of carpentry, a little bit of leatherworking, kind of fixing and mending things, a handyman. Darnik was, he got the things that fell in the cracks. If you couldn't make your way to the leather shop to get something worked on, Darnik would do it. If you needed somebody to do your roof thatching, Darnik would do it. Yeah. Darnik would do it. That's what they called him. Do it, Darnik.
It's a shame. It's a shame he seemed to have passed on.
Oh yeah, so they said it was his heart gave out, colossal. Oh, so much blood, bleeding everywhere, right in front of his kid.
That's a shame.
Yep, damn shame. Yeah, they say the milker's wife's taking him in.
And she's a good woman.
I mean, it's a good family. They already got 6 kids. Didn't know you were so interested in local affairs, my prince. He starts pulling himself out of the barrel. His towel almost falls down, and he catches it and starts toweling himself off as he gets out and says, "What interest do you have in Darnik? I mean, the funeral, we already got him in the ground, but maybe you want to go offer some prayers?"
I could.
They say you're a holy man.
If they wish for me to attend, I would do so. Otherwise, but if they don't wish me to be there, I wouldn't want to intrude, of course, on their mourning.
Well, he has no family that survives him except for a little baby, so you can head to the graveyard anytime.
Thank you. Maybe I will.
Yep. So, a passing mist cloud covers his junk as he finally gets out, and he heads inside.
AP, what's the status of the workshop that Gizmo was building or starting on before we went to Jowtown?
I have no notes here about such a workshop, but
yeah, all right.
There is now a workshop available in town.
Yeah.
It's not magical, but you could turn it into a magical workshop for some amount of investment.
So before the guy leaves that was just telling us about that, I would just Gizmo wants to ask him about who would be the contact to maybe buy out or take over that workshop.
So the cloud of steam is still there, but he's running the towel between his legs, and it's just getting it squeaky clean there. And he says, well, let me think for a moment. Look, I'm just trying to get all the physical humor I can in here.
Hey, I can envision the towel squeaky clean thing.
Thank
so
you.
You're doing good.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I try to listen. I need those little pieces of comedy to help me out here. Well, I don't rightly know who you'd buy it from. Probably the Dockmaster. I mean, maybe the Milkman? He's got the kid. He didn't have any family, so I guess the kid owns the place now.
So typically the shop owners own the property. They don't rent it.
Correct. Because there's no lord around here, so nobody owns everything. Everyone's a self-made investor.
Okay, so I'll talk to the council tomorrow.
He just nods and says, well, good for you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Are the baths private or what?
There are private baths, and there are the barrel baths.
Yep.
You've indicated that you were in a barrel bath because you were part of this conversation.
Right.
Ashe is also in the barrel baths.
Excellent. Yep. So I got my own barrel? Fantastic.
Yep. It's nice and warm, too. You can add more wood by dropping it down beneath you, or there's a giant fan nearby, so you can fan it up the temperature, get up to that like 110, 120 F, however high you want to get it. Sorry, metric people.
All right. Gizmo starts cleaning himself off, scrubbing those dark places, and humming a gnome song.
I assume that you would have, because the barrels are sized for humans, you would have had to use your arms to hold yourself to keep from plunging into the barrel.
Yeah, in fact, he'll probably put his arms back this way and his feet across the top and sort of like dip into the barrel.
I mean, it could be an inclusive town.
You're barrel butting? Oh, that's so good. Barrel butting.
It could be an inclusive town. They might
Maybe
have
they
seats.
gave him like a little step stool.
That's true. They could
seats.
dunk a step stool in there. I like the idea he's barrel butting, though, now that he said that.
Is Lyra getting the private bath, or is she out with the barrels?
I don't know.
That's
I've been trying
sexual
to figure that
harassment,
out.
Connor.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, it's still sexual harassment.
It kind of depends on
This is
how.
a coworker, okay?
But okay.
I don't know. I'll just leave it as I don't know.
Look at Cotton having a hard time with this. Where would Lyra go?
Well, I never really thought about how modest Lyra was or not.
What better place than here? What better time than now?
How far away are the barrel baths from like the private baths?
So imagine that the private baths are in a wooden lodge-like structure. It's got a hallway that runs out to the to the barrel baths, but there's doors with internal locks on them as you go. Like 5 on each side. They're basically like small sweat lodges where you can also like pull a lever and some water showers down on you. They're like closets.
Yeah,
Ooh, but the
I
wood
think
is
she
probably
would've-
like really fancy, like a teak or something like that. Something that or some wood that you'd allow to leave wet for a long period of time.
I think she probably would have gotten a private one.
Okay. Are we gonna get barrel butting, where you leave your legs and your arms and your head out, but your everything from your thigh to your thorax is in the barrel?
Yeah.
No, we're getting a guy getting out of the barrel. We aren't getting barrel butting.
That's Gizmo already. He's already
in the middle.
barrel.
Yeah, Gizmo's in the middle, I guess. Yeah.
Look, his arms hanging over there. They're significantly shorter than the guy next to him. Oh, Connor. So good. All right. Look, I'm gonna cut over to Shep now because we haven't jumped over in a while, and wow, you really got some definition in on this troll. I like the hair and the ear. That really sells me on that.
You know, I see this and I think like a L'Oreal commercial.
Kinda.
So, troll L'Oreal. So yeah.
Zug
It's like a
worth it
Fabio
too.
trolls.
Yeah, he reminds me of Fabio.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fabio the troll.
like it.
I think that's his name, Fabio. Yeah, we'll stick with it.
Do they sell soap at the bathhouses?
Yeah, so they have a very limited selection. They only have one type of soap, and then they have one type of like steaming centers, where essentially like aromatics that you can use to make everything smell like lavender. Those are the only two options.
All right.
Yeah, you can get local soap made from, I would assume it's made from like lye and animal fat.
I guess I'll stick with my coconut fancy soap.
I mean, consider the coconut, consider its leaves.
I was gonna say if they had other scents to add to my collection of soap.
I mean, lavender. You could get a lavender bath bomb, essentially.
You know what? Sure, I'll get a lavender bath bomb and use it instead of with the
5
coconut.
copper pieces.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I mean, look, when you come out of the bath, you definitely smell like you did not just spend the last 11 days in the Underdark.
That's exactly what you wanted.
I assume that there's like a trail of scent that follows you everywhere. When you all meet up outside, refreshed, your clothes have been darned and fixed, which I think is a word that you say when you fix clothes. Your armor has been cleaned. It's not been like polished or shiny, but there is no longer significant blood and bile covering it.
Thank you so much. That must have been very hard.
Well, it's the weirdest thing I've seen in a while, but, you know, you're adventurers. You pay well. I appreciate the extra coin.
I think Lyra just gives her another one because she feels kind of bad that she made her clean it up. Another silver piece.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's not going to refuse free money. She looks at you weird, like, oh, okay. All right. Stuffs it into her sack.
We'll be back.
Yep,
sure.
I expect you will. Your smell was something fierce. As you walk away, I mean, you all feel refreshed. You've had a good night's sleep. You're in a familiar location. You're safe. No one's tried to murder you in the last 24 hours. Your clothes are clean and fresh. Everything is muddy everywhere. Because that's this place. That's Corsairport. Life continues. It's still gray and a little cloudy, and the forest can be misty from time to time, and the trees are super large, and you don't really know anybody here that well, but gosh, is it nice to be able to see the sky every once in a while. Melf is putting on a magic demonstration for the locals using illusion magic to tell stories. It appears he is putting on a play regarding Ashe and Lyra that was written by succubuses.
Of course.
And he is recounting the story of that. So it's like 1,000 Arabian Nights. He's telling the story of how Ashe and Lyra were captured and forced to do a play. So it's a play within a play kind of deal going on. Now, there's no naughty bits, and there's no eroticism involved. There's mysterious bursts of lights whenever something like that would happen. But yeah, I mean, he is not good at telling stories. The illusions look good, but his storytelling is terrible.
Is everyone laughing along with the...
It's hard to follow. It's like looking at a German avant-garde art project. Everyone's like, I don't know how to feel about this. I'm pretty sure I've heard this story. I don't know that it went like that.
Ash gets up on the stage and says, "I think you need
There's no
a little
stage.
more."
She's just doing it outside the
Okay.
the wizard's tower.
He gets up and he says, I think you need to do it with a little more flair. And then Ash proceeds to join in the play.
Okay, so you're stepping into the illusion where a version of you who looks better than you and more handsome is...
How could such a big thing
he
be?
he steps aside, he bows, and he vanishes as you take his place. And now people are interested. They're like, oh, okay.
And so I think Ash is going to put on like a humorous version of the events.
All right, so originally Melf was the narrator, but now you're narrating and Melf is changing the story to match your narration. So
Okay.
please make a performance check real quick.
Sure.
Lyra, you should jump in.
When you say that, she just glares at you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Performance. It was a 6. Oh man, shit. Last time it was so good.
This was even before Gizmo's time, right? This was during.
I don't
Baldur's
know
time?
if it. Yeah, it was during Baldur's time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it matters, but you had us right that we were had experience in performing this particular play.
That's true. But that's still only a 9.
Yep.
You guys could change the play so that all of the rumors change.
The problem is that no one's interested. Like, you jump in there and at first they're like, oh, this is new.
Mhm.
But Ash's storytelling is even worse than Melf's. And it bombs immediately. Listen, you say what? But I'm looking at a 9 and a 6 on my screen right now, so...
I mean, Melf, I don't think is very charismatic from what I gather from what people think of him.
Yes, but you just rolled lower than Melf, so...
Okay.
Yeah. He's trying to say you suck at storytelling.
I mean...
At this time.
Yeah, this time.
Last
Look.
time he did great.
I'm just saying. There's a reason we let Charlie write the stories, right?
There certainly is.
Oh, that's a writer joke for everybody at home.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yes. So I guess Ash bows out and says, well, I've been a bit rusty. I haven't been on stage in quite a bit.
All right, so Melf is just like, all right, stop showboating. I'm trying to show off the wares here. So now he starts doing basic street magic, like interlocking rings that can't be pulled apart, that kind of stuff. Trying to get the children involved. The children are all just like running away from him. Seems kind of like he's having a tough day. He looks kind of like, instead of looking like Davy Blaine, he looks kind of just like some guy that you see on the side of the street trying to entertain you with street magic. Someone who maybe could use a bathhouse. After a few minutes of watching this sad, pathetic display of showmanship, you watch him skulk back to his tower, which seems to shrink perhaps another foot in size.
Not kind of bad for him.
Yeah, we'll clap at his performance. How's that?
Okay. He raises a fist up as if to acknowledge that you have done it, but he slams the door inside. The frog is locked outside, and then he has to open the door, and the frog hops in, and then he closes the door again.
So, I mean, I think I recall that the blacksmith around here was looking for metal, and he had none to work with.
That's correct.
So I might inquire with him as to where we might be able to find some, unless we have some other ideas to pursue.
Are you
I think
heading
that's
to
good.
Uranor
I mean-
Urist White Knuckle Shop then?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so when you show up, he's like banging some pots out to, like reinforce where it's been scraped, and he says, "So, did you bring me any metal?"
Not yet. We were wondering if you said last time, or you could say now, where there might be some metal.
I think he told us the mountains last time.
Yeah,
The
there are
mountains.
mountains to the east and to the south, if you're willing to go through the Badlands where the rumored drow and night raiders are, or if you want to cut east through the horrifying forest where no one has ever returned against the black hair, or They rumor that Bartholomew Blackhand roams to the east.
We killed Bartholomew Blackhand.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
Good for you.
So
not many people brag about murder.
I mean, adventurers do when they're killing terrible people.
So he slams another hammer down on the forge and says, "Well, I guess that's why you're fully licensed to carry out executions around here."
That's right.
Yep, sure does make me feel better that people working for themselves feel justified in killing whoever they want to, based on their own moral prerogative.
Don't worry, it's a well established and thoroughly vetted moral prerogative.
He stops hammering for a moment and gives you a hard stare and says, I heard you were a half angel, but this is the most human thing I've ever heard from you.
Maybe perhaps more mortal living has rubbed off on me. I don't know.
Were you ever not living mortally?
Sidestepping that conversation. So you said to the south and to the east?
That's just my guess, lad. It's not like I've ever found metal out here. No one has.
Fair enough.
Look, if you can locate a strike of ore, I might be able to call in some white knuckles to mine it.
And what would I be looking for? Like, I've never identified a vein of ore, of iron.
How many years do you have?
Many.
Well, come back after I close the forge and I'll start teaching you everything I know about ore.
Is there anything that I might be able to identify if I were to go into any kind of cave or cavern?
So he plunges the pan he's working on into a barrel full of oil and says, "Metal, shiny."
Fair enough.
So Gizmo will kind of jump in and go, I hear rumors that sometimes people can find like gold deposits by following streams and rivers, and they can see the gold settling in the stream bed. Is there any ways for us to search and look for the type of metals do you need? Are you looking for iron or what type of metals?
If you bring me metal, I'll be able to use it. We're in short supply of everything.
Yeah. So
even pig iron will find a use around here.
And when we're out looking, are there any visual clues that we need to look for to find hints of where there might be ore?
He pulls the pan out of the oil barrel and says, "Metal, shiny."
Okay. Where'd you get your metal before?
I have to have it shipped in at great cost. You might notice there's not a plethora of it around here.
I know. You probably are busy outfitting the new Drow contingent.
He just says, "The what?"
The new contingent of soldiers that are working for Corsairport.
This is the first I've heard of it.
Oh, well, we just gave them a bunch of money to supply this new force. It'll come to you.
No one's ordered any swords from me.
There's no other blacksmith in town, is there?
You know that they could just order swords and armor, right?
I suppose that's a possibility.
Again, I cannot make anything from nothing.
Okay. Well, perhaps in the future, we might be able to commission you. We'll see.
Commission me. Certainly a commission would be better than my day-to-day work, which doesn't pay very well. Commissions are really the bread and butter of an artisanal life.
Okay. So yeah, I suppose. Ashe is sort of possibly walking away unless everyone else has more to talk to about this guy.
I mean, so he really doesn't have any ideas like through the forest or anything.
I want to remind you, no one here leaves the town because it's dangerous out there.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I mean, I think our best guess regarding this is looking. And if we see mountains, that's a likely spot. Right?
I mean, you literally just came from an underground area where there could be plenty of ore, but you told me you wanted to do stuff on the surface.
Yeah, we're looking for like surface ore. I mean, this is an untapped land.
Look,
you know?
surface ore exists as long as there weren't any previous civilizations that lived here and didn't mine out all the easy stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's what we're looking for.
But it could be one of those things. It'll be one of those things that we'll keep an eye out for, right? You know how you in a game you pick up a quest and you don't necessarily have to do it right now, but it's always there waiting for you.
You kill some random guy and you pick up an item, and all of a sudden a quest log blings, and you're like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah. Oh, I just finished a quest. Yeah, okay.
Is there like a general store here?
There is.
Lyra's gonna go to the general store.
Very well.
Gizmo's coming along.
Yep.
Let me see. I had some notes about the general store somewhere. A young man named Bolt, who is the nephew of the general store's owner, stops you outside and says, "Hey, what do you need inside?"
I wanted to go shopping.
"I can help you gather everything up that you need. Just tell me what you need."
Do you have rations?
We got plenty of rations. Let me go grab them for you as part of our courtesy service.
Courtesy service?
Yeah, he runs inside, and you can hear him go, "Rations, where are the rations?" Someone's just like, "Bolt, dumbass, the rations are back there. What are you asking about rations for? You ain't buying any rations." He's just like, "Look, she's back, okay, man? Look, I'm just trying to get the rations." He's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're my brother's son." The general store owner comes to the door and says, "You, woman, you can come inside and wait. Seems like the boy wants to do your shopping for you. We've got a bench in here."
Okay.
Does the boy work here?
As if he could work anywhere else.
I'd also like to buy some rations. How much are they a piece?
Whatever the adventuring handbook says, player's handbook equipment section, they're exactly that cost.
Okay,
It
great.
was 5 gold, I think.
You might be better off buying fresh food, maybe a chicken or some flour, bread.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take how about some beef jerky?
How about it?
Do you have any?
Yes, and the cost is...
I'll check for you. Let's see.
No, I got it.
You got it?
1 silver piece for 4 pieces of jerky.
And so I up the 4 pieces, and I try and guess how much of a meal would that make, 4 pieces?
It's like 4 actual pieces of beef jerky. You know,
So-
like a strip this long.
It's like 4 pieces is a meal.
Yeah.
So you could eat.
I mean, it's a meal insofar as you want to eat incredibly salty, chewy meat. Yes.
Okay. I'll take a bunch of. Yep.
It's a
How
meal
much is the
insofar
bread?
as it provides you with calories and, if not, nutrients.
You get protein. It's good stuff.
Yes. Let me tell you about people who survive eating only protein and nothing else.
Hey, it's not the rabbit illness or whatever. It's not like rabbits. It's beef jerky.
All right. What
What'd
do you
say,
want?
Cotton?
How much is the bread?
How much bread are you getting? It's 2 copper pieces a loaf.
2 loaves.
Okay, yeah. You get you 2 fresh, hot, steaming loaves. The man says, "You look like adventuring types. What do you need? A crossbow, bolts, arrows. I got some of those. Hunting traps. Chalk. Got a good set of chalk in. A bell? Can't find bells out there. Never know when a bell might come in handy."
How much is your bell?
1 gold piece.
I'll buy the bell.
Okay.
I'll buy some chalk.
He upsells you the bell. Chalk is 1 copper piece for 1 piece.
I buy like 10
Okay.
for a silver.
Do you have anything fun here, like something exciting and that you don't
He
always
holds
sell?
up a bag of 1,000 ball bearings.
How about some flour? There's some flour.
He says, well, if you're looking for something really fun. He heads into a back room and then comes back with a vial filled with some dark liquid, but it's got like streaks of red in it, and occasionally you think you see lightning moving in it. He says, we brew this from time to time.
What is it?
Well, we like to call it the good stuff.
I
What
think
does
we're
it
going to need
do?
more information than that.
Makes you feel good. Lets you forget all of the bad things that are happening to you. It also makes you a little bit stronger. And you won't remember much about what you do while you're using it. You'll just remember that you were happy.
Can I figure out what it is? Try and figure out what it is?
Yes, make a medicine roll.
Can I also assist her?
Sure.
I will be trying to take a
Are
look
you
at it
trained
and
in
figure
medicine?
it out.
Are you proficient in it?
No.
No, you can't assist her.
What?
I forgot that was a rule that I made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a homebrew rule so that people can't just be like, I assist out of
Okay.
nowhere.
Okay.
17. It's some might call it a poison, others would call it a drug. It will induce euphoria and mild hallucinations, and it will also give you advantage on strength checks for 1 hour.
Ah, this is one of those, that's a drug.
Yes, it is. That's what I said. I called it the good stuff.
I'm not interested in drugs.
Well, you were asking if you wanted to have fun. My apologies.
No, I just meant interesting things in your shop. I'm sorry if I missed.
I have a dragon chest set. I also have 2 poles and a series of horseshoes. Wooden
poles?
boxes with a hole in it and bean bags.
I did ask if you had some flour. Do you have some of that?
I have as much flour as you could want.
I'll take,
However much money you have, I have that much flour.
I'll take
Flour costs 2
4.
copper pieces, my boy.
I'll take 5 then. 5 pounds.
Very well.
Do you have a pot for traveling while cooking and traveling?
I do.
How much is that?
An iron pot is 2 gold pieces. Look, you can look in the player's handbook on page 151 for the general stores. You don't have to ask me for these things.
Oh, no, Lyra's been just like sitting on the bench because she was told to sit there.
Yes, but I'm telling you that he's got everything in the adventuring gear section
Okay.
and some various sundries beside.
How much is the dragon chest set?
The answer to that question is 1 gold piece. He reaches
I'll buy
under
it.
the counter and says, all right, I didn't want to have to do this, but if you're looking for something fun. And he dramatically raises up a pan flute.
How much is that?
12 gold pieces. Carved it myself out of the bones of a giant worm.
Oh.
The one that attacked the town. There was a hole in the town wall until Prince Ashe Heiral paid to fix it up a couple weeks ago. Remember that? Anybody?
Remember that?
He's looking at you. He's trying to keep his cool, but he wants you to. He's vibrating with the need for you to take this from him. to buy this pan flute.
I'll give you 10 gold for it.
Sold.
But do you have change for like oh, I guess a platinum is 110 gold, isn't it?
It is.
I give him a platinum.
Okay. He bites it to make sure it's real, because it's not like people commonly use platinum pieces. Have to change this with the Dockmaster.
Is that bad for you?
No, it's fine. The boy has gathered up all of the things that you want by placing them at Lyra's feet.
Is your job to go shopping for other people?
So he says, it is now. The shopkeeper is going, ugh. Then he goes, oh, actually, Bolt, you're a dumbass, but you might have gotten onto something. What if we gathered items that people wanted up, and I made you run to their house with it?
You could call it Instacart.
No, that's dumb. I'm gonna call it delivery.
All right.
That's not a bad idea. I think people would like that.
Yes, and I could charge them for the service. A couple copper, but more than enough to pay for the boy's labor.
Do you have perfume or fancy soap?
I have 1 vial of perfume for 1 gold piece. And he pulls out the tiniest heart-shaped container with a little... It doesn't have a spray nozzle. It's got like an eyeglass dropper.
What's it smell like?
He says, I don't know. It's too expensive to just open it up. You wanted to know if I had it, and I've got it.
It's for gold. Is that what he said?
No, it's just he doesn't know what scent it is.
Oh, can I smell it?
Your smell around it, it smells kind of like rose water.
How much did he say it was?
1 gold piece.
I guess she'll buy it.
Okay. It has 5 uses in it. And we're talking you gotta dab some on the wrists, right? Like, minimal use.
That makes sense. What? Since I have it, I want to open it so I can smell it.
It smells like rose water.
Is it watered down rose water?
Well, rose water is literally steamed rose petals, so all rose water is watered down rose water. Can't get much more watery than 99% water.
Does it at least have like a noticeable scent?
Yes, it smells like rose water.
Well, I've never sniffed rose water, so...
I want you to imagine a rose that has been steamed.
All right.
I'll also go pick up some manacles in case we ever need to tie someone up.
I thought you just killed all of your enemies and then bragged about it.
Man, don't always
That's the
brag.
plan. Bringing back murder.
I like how your go-to was we don't always brag. Not we don't always murder.
Actually, I mean, in this campaign, we haven't murdered that many people, I would say. So
It's a life of adventuring. We haven't murdered anyone.
I think
Death
we murdered some people. Have we murdered anybody?
I
Not
mean, we
murdered.
definitely did murder Blackhand. We did jump him in his own home.
Yeah, but
You
we
did.
didn't.
I did.
Yeah.
You did. There.
She definitely murdered him, and she has no regrets.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, we partook, but it really was Talia. Is that her name?
Tara.
Tara. She was the true instigator. Okay. Now there's general shop. There's no magic potions here, right? We'd have to go back to Melf's.
There are potions of healing. They have
Right.
5
much
of
are
them.
How much are they?
I think they're 50 gold pieces apiece.
Okay, that's fine. I'll get one.
All right. I mean, that's
Isn't that all your money?
I mean,
Pretty
that's
much. I got 10
that's a
going now.
huge amount of money for him. Like, he's like, wow, that was an investment that really paid off.
Well, is that the going rate? Then it's a fair rate.
The guy who did all my shopping, I want to like tip him a silver.
Oh, yeah. All right. You seem like you've made his day as well. So when you leave, both uncle and nephew are both like, man, I really made out today. What's the plan? You're now cleaned. You've got some leads on some local stuff. You've found jobs. You maybe invented capitalism, apparently.
I think, you guys, what zone do you want to explore? Because I think we probably should head out. Unless you got any more
Look,
business.
if you want to
that we
spend
take
all your
care of.
time in town, who am I to stop you? We could just make the game about never leaving town. You could just go shopping and do theater all day.
We could go either go south along the coastline, perhaps, or we could go into the forest again.
Let's go south. Because that's all brand new to us anyway, right?
You have gone south repeatedly. You've gone southeast to make your way towards Black Web Hold. You made your way into the Badlands, and you disappeared down into a cave there. You now know of a second cave nearby that will allow you to bypass Black Web Hold and enter the Underdark. You have not gone directly south along the coast, however.
Right.
Okay.
I would like to visit the coast.
Well, the coast here is rocky and treacherous and, like 100 feet above the waterline. However, I now need to look at what kind of encounters you might face in that direction. Mm-hmm.
Well, in the meantime, we head it out, I suppose, right?
Yep.
Okay. What do we see?
I'll look up all the prices for it, but did they have like seasonings that I could use if I was cooking while traveling? Salt, pepper, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Alright.
You can get cooking equipment. Salt is definitely in the trade goods. Tell me about the party formation. What are you doing? You go in an arrowhead? You're traveling in a line? Who's riding what? Because I know you've got some rideable...
Ashe is on his horse. And,
Lyra's walking. She does not have a rideable thing.
Wow, that's rough.
Lyra can ride Greta if she wants.
No, she's gonna let Gizmo ride Greta.
I guess triangle. I mean, I don't mind leading, unless you guys have a preference.
I do not. I can
Okay.
bring up the rear.
I suppose we're relying on Ashe's nature checks.
And
Maybe does Lyra want to check my work?
Yeah, I want to assist him if I can.
Okay. Sorry, you're nature checking to do what?
Sorry, I just figured we would roll maybe a
If we
survival
have to
check.
roll survival
to
check.
move through new areas.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and make that.
14.
All right, you set out in the middle of the day, and things seem to go well. You follow the coastline. The giant trees and the misty darkness suddenly give way right about where you'd expect to sandy orange badlands broken up by black gravel and occasional plateaus. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of plant life out here, but it doesn't take much to spot the occasional small, kind of mischievous animal, like geckos, any sort of desert animal. You think you see a coyote in the great distance? As you enter the Badlands, the coast suddenly drops away and enters a flat area, and you can see that someone could conceivably get a small boat here, but there are I think they're called breakers. There's like small rocks that line the coastline in every direction that would surely destroy any ship of a considerable size approaching.
Are we able to get to the water from here?
Yes, now that you're in the Badlands, you can get to the water. Would you like to go down to the coastline?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so the beaches here are, unlike the Badlands, pure white sand. The water is kind of dark green and murky, foamy, and of course, by the time it reaches shore, it's had to make its way through waves of essentially rocky teeth sticking out of the water. So it's not like the waves are strong, but they're foamy. You can see little hermit crabs crawling along.
It's been a long time since I've been able to see the beach.
Myself as well. It's a welcome sight. Was your monastery on the beach?
It was on a cliff over a beach.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we go left or right?
Were you folks up to any surfing of any kind? Possibly, boogie
Surf's
boarding?
up. We'll go body surfing.
Yeah, I think it's where you take like a plank of wood, you sort of try and stand on in the water.
I want to watch you try it.
You should demonstrate that.
Is there a plank of wood around
No.
of any kind?
No.
Perhaps if we find something that seems like it could serve as a surfboard, I will try.
No, there are no artificed planks of wood available. The only trees are north of here, and they're the size of California redwoods, not the kind of thing you would make a plank of wood out of.
I'll have to show the people of Corsairport surfing.
I love the idea that you have just invented the fact that Hammerhold has surfing culture.
I think Ashe makes sense as a sort of a surfer.
It was his hobby, right? To make surfboards. The secret hobby that he never told his dad.
Okay, so here is where you all are on the map. The X is not close enough to the water, but you have made your way south.
What kind of shield do you have? Could you surf on your shield?
Nope, no one
no.
surfs on. No. But you
Dang it.
no. No.
AP's all like, stop it now.
No. Lord of the Rings has deceived you. Surfing on a shield is not possible.
Oh, come on. Worst scene of the movie. I hated that.
It was a good scene. It was an excellent scene, but it's also fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fantasy.
Yep.
It's fantasy run by me.
Same genre. Okay.
You want to contact J.R.R. Tolkien to be your dungeon master, you're going to have to wait for him to wander for 20 years in his backyard, cooking rabbits and developing 2 languages.
I mean, really, you probably want to get in contact with Peter Jackson, who probably does run a pretty good D&D game.
Wow. I feel like after having watched the Hobbit trilogy, you might be overestimating his personal creative abilities.
Yeah, he had to.
Wait, that's only when he wings it.
Yeah.
Give him time to prep and he'll be okay.
Right, yeah. He's not like a wing at DM. He's like a prepper.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was able to prep tonight for not knowing anywhere as to where you're going or what you're doing. So, are you stopping to camp along this beach? Because it's getting dark. The sun is setting in the west. It's glinting off of that murky water, actually.
Can we see if this is high tide or low tide?
Let's call it high tide.
Okay, so we won't be in danger of getting like flooded.
Correct.
Well, high tide changes, right? Like midnight? Middle of the night?
The tide moves with the moon.
Depends totally on the moon. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the time of night.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but while high noon occurs while the sun is at its highest point, that is not also the time that noon is. In the same way that high midnight occurs when the moon is at its highest point, but is not at 12 p.m. Otherwise, it would be midnight every time there was a solar eclipse. It's always high moon somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
That's technically true. Listen, we're not even going to start talking about Lagrange points yet.
I don't know what that is.
All right, I'll let that one slide. Connor, that's fine. It's a physics equation for spaces between the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun that have zero gravity.
Fair enough. I thought it sounded like an anime at first.
Lagrange point sounds like an... Well, I can see it now that you said it. It's a scientific term that's hundreds of years old.
Sure. I mean, that could eat... anyway, yeah.
So,
okay, yeah, I guess we'll set up camp.
It's been a while since we've done a real camp. So, what are you setting up? Like, are we talking tents? Do you have tents? Are we talking bedrolls? Are we just talking a pillow and a blanket? Are you starting a fire? Who's cooking what? I want to know this full camping layout.
I want to cook some soup.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you've got water and you've got salt, so you have the basis for soup.
So is there any little cubby areas in the cliffs that at least quasi covered so that we're not seen from miles all around?
Yeah.
Could I have bought a pound of rice? I found a list with trade goods.
Yeah. You're gonna make rice soup?
Well, I mean, hoping I could catch some fish, maybe.
There are many soups that involve rice. I mean, I'm not asking that facetiously. I just want to know, are you making rice soup?
Yeah, there's rice in my soup.
Okay.
We can carve it up with a little flour if you want.
Fish and rice soup sounds really good.
Make a survival check to see if you can catch fish and how. Do you have fishing equipment? Like a harpoon or nets or fishing rod or you
I
just
have a spear.
I will allow you to make a survival check at disadvantage to spear fish. Unless...
What about my my spiritual weapon is a fishing spear?
Are you skilled at fishing with the fishing spear?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, this is the time for you to make that declaration. You can
I
say
think she's
yes.
fished in the past. She used to live by a coast.
You can make a survival check without disadvantage then, using your fishing spear. Just know if you roll a natural 1, you might end up losing your
my spiritual weapon.
Yes. Oh, it's your spiritual weapon. Okay. All right. Well, that's a really hardcore way to fish, but all right. Sure. Make your survival check. You catch
11.
1 meager fish.
Good enough.
It's good
That's
enough.
why you make it a soup.
It's enough for you, maybe. Oh,
But I can put it in the soup.
Yes, you can, and you can get that fish head in the soup to get all those rich nutrients from the brain and
Yeah,
eyes.
I just wanted it to flavor the soup.
All right, so Connor, I want to be clear that Ashe is looking at a fish head. The eyes are staring at him while its head sticks out of the fish soup, and it just looks at you for the whole time you're setting up your camp.
As a surfer, he's pretty familiar with with fish.
So you all, sorry, did you say you were entering a depression so that your fire couldn't be seen from great distances?
Yes, that's the goal, yes.
Okay, so you have set up a fire to cook on.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about accommodations. We talking tents? We talking a lean-to? Are we talking just bedding, bed rolls?
Just bedding for
Inflatable
Gizmo, that's all he's got.
Yeah, he's got sleeping bag.
So Greta will kneel down behind you so that you can put your head against her belly and use her as a pillow.
Oh, she's going to keep me warm, okay.
Well, you're going to keep her warm, but sure.
There we go.
It is getting shockingly cold.
I forgot to buy another blanket after I gave my blanket to the drow.
Well, that's unfortunate. Guess you're sleeping under the open stars.
She is.
Lyra, you can sleep with Greta. I have my blanket. You can take mine.
No, it's okay. You look comfy.
I mean, there's also Echo.
Echo wants to have a conversation with you when you say that, Ash.
Okay. Yeah.
It goes kind of like this. Ash, we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with Lyra?
I mean, we're working it out. I mean, I don't know.
I thought I was your number one.
You are my number one.
But you've been spending a lot of time with her. Now you're offering to use me as a servant for her.
Not as a servant. I mean, you
know
guys
I'm
can
a
keep each other warm.
celestial spirit, right? I don't just lay down and let random maidens lay their head upon my stomach. That's my stomach.
I thought you might be cold. I thought you might benefit.
I am a celestial being.
You still, I mean, but you still feel things, I assume.
Yeah, but right now I'm feeling irritation.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess
that's
I will
that kind
decline.
of snappy dialogue you can only get at Apgamingreal.
I will decline my invitation.
No.
My invitation
I want to
to
know. You can't run away from this, Ash. What is
Okay.
your relationship with this girl?
I mean,
That you think you can just offer me up? I want to know what's. Listen, there's a triangle between the three of us now, and I want to know what the hypotenuse looks like.
we're adventuring together right now, and that's what.
I thought it was you and me, but now it's you and me and her.
And Gizmo. I mean, we're a team.
Have you offered to lay Gizmo's head down on my stomach?
No thanks. I'm fine where I'm at.
Just to be clear, this is taking place telepathically between the two of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
darn it. Yeah.
So
I forgot about that.
Gizmo seemed fine with Greta. I mean, I'm a practical individual.
Greta is a mule. You understand that, right? Greta is not a celestial spirit.
Yes,
You know I'm not a horse, right?
Yeah.
That is
I
the
get
shape of the container that you formed me in when we created a contract. I'm not actually a horse. I'm a spirit of pure good and law.
So it seems like you might want to help out and keep people warm.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion. 21.
Okay. For the rest of you, Echo and Ash stare at each other for about 3 minutes, and then she flicks her tail and stomps, and then moves over to stand behind Lyra and slowly gets down on the ground so that she can put her head against Echo's belly. But in doing so, she flicks her tail again.
Does she look upset?
It's a horse.
Body
That's not when
language.
an animal's upset usually.
Okay, make a nature check. No, I'm sorry. Make an animal handling check.
I was gonna say probably animal handling.
The most underused skill in the game. This horse is resigned, mildly irritated, but also.
What horse? The spirit?
Yes.
Ah.
Okay. Echo is mildly irritated, but also resigned to do her duty. But she's also fine with this.
She'll just like lean over to Becca and be like, "You don't have to stay here."
She snorts onto your hair so that your hair blows around.
Guess they will just lay beside her.
She looks at you with sad, wise horse eyes.
I guess I'll just pet her.
She
You can go.
continues
You can go sleep
to
by
stare
Ash
at
if
you.
you want.
No, she doesn't go anywhere now that you're petting her.
Oh.
She just keeps staring at you. It's like looking into the infinite blackness of a soul of great wisdom. Ash, everybody else has a companion to sleep with, but you're alone. What do you got? Bedroll? Bed? You just sleeping on a rock?
My discipline and my my passion for goose and guz.
Do you not have a blanket? You literally have nothing?
I got a bedroll. Yeah,
Okay.
I got standard adventuring gear.
All right, you have a bedroll. That's nice. Use your pack as a pillow. All right.
Or rope, as the case may be.
Oh my god, you cannot use rope as a pillow.
It wouldn't be that bad.
It's itchy.
Maybe Ash might find that itchy. Sure.
Anyone would find it itchy. The kind of rope we're talking about is not the rope you go and pick up from Home Depot right now.
I understand, but like you would, I mean, people would be sleeping in straw and stuff. I mean, they'd be all right.
Itchy.
It would be a softer rope, right? It's not going to be that hard cowboy rope.
I think it would be hard cowboy rope.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think it would be soft rope.
So it's so soft, or is it? Okay, I don't care. You're sleeping with rope as a pillow. Lyra, I would like you to make a survival check to see how this soup turns out. We're talking fish soup with rice, salt. What other flavors are we talking about here? What are we throwing in?
Salt and pepper.
Yep. Okay.
I closed that list of things.
Let me while you're opening that, let me ask you this question. You know how people say to put salt and pepper on everything? You put salt in it because salt enhances the flavor of the human tongue, but why put pepper on everything? Have you ever thought that maybe big pepper is fooling you?
I like the taste of pepper.
Yeah, I like
That's
pepper.
why I do it.
Yes, but does pepper go with everything? All right, I don't know.
It goes with most meats.
Yeah, I like black pepper specifically.
It adds a kick when you need it, right?
I tried to convince you guys that big pepper is real, and you immediately fell into big pepper's trap. What are we looking at here? We've got Ashe doing that upper lip thing that he does. Yep. We got Gizmo Rumplestomp with his goggles. Who is this person on the left?
Is that Lyra?
Is that your interpretation of Lyra? Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And who's
I got the buns. Nobody.
I got the buns?
Yeah, like the hair buns.
Oh, Connor.
Not everyone has that first impression of the word buns. I think that's remarkably indicative of your own persuasion regarding buns.
Oh, Connor. I don't know what to say about that.
Fair enough.
Who is this down in the lower right-hand corner?
Nobody. I just...
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, this soup is fantastic. Despite the fact that it's a travel soup, these ingredients are fresh. There's enough to go around for everybody, despite the fish not being that big. It's pretty good soup. Better than some meals you've had in restaurants.
Thank you, Lyra. That was lovely dinner.
Delicious.
You're
indeed.
welcome.
Thank you.
So you all have a slight problem. There are three of you, and you need at least 8 hours of sleep.
I thought it was 6.
Nope. You need 6 hours of sleep and 2 hours of doing nothing. Or minimal activity.
So can we do that extension? Like you said 10 hours before, I think?
You can do 10 hours if you want to roll watches, but it means that 2 people need to take 2 2-hour watches.
Gizmo will do a long watch.
Okay.
I volunteer. You
all
guys
right,
can get
so
the rest.
What's the watch order then? You need 4 watch slots, and Gizmo needs to take 2 of them.
Are you still getting a long rest, Gizmo? Is Gizmo still getting...
not this time. But I don't need it.
Don't you get exhaustion?
Yes.
Gizmo can take a long rest if we do if we stay longer.
Yes, if you spend 10 hours and 2 people do 2 2-hour rests.
Okay. Yeah.
So now you need 5 watches.
Okay.
And Gizmo can't take 3 of them.
Yeah, Ash will take 2.
All right, so what's the watch order?
Ash.
Lyra will go in the middle.
So Ashe, Lyra, Gizmo.
Sounds good.
Okay. Lyra, can you make a perception check at disadvantage?
Sure. Got a 14.
Wow, and you even had a natural 20 in there. All right, so Gizmo's with Gretel. Mira is over here. Echo, Ashe is there. We got a campfire here that I'm using my drawing skills I learned from watching conorhughes to draw.
Hell yeah.
You can tell because I'm coloring it in. Like those conorhughes colors. Lyra, you become aware of a presence approaching you.
What kind of presence?
You can't see it, but there is definitely something out there moving in the night towards you. You hear the sound of clanking plate mail, even if you don't see anything.
I guess I'll tap Echo, and then I'll try to wake up Ashe and Gizmo quietly.
Okay, so Echo can wake up Ashe while you go to try to wake up Gizmo.
Yes.
Are you attempting to hide your motions, or are you going to just outrightly dash over?
I'll attempt to hide my emotions.
Make a stealth check.
That's right, Tale of Two Wolves. We are Cap. Sweet.
Not good at stealth. I got an 8.
By the time you've run over to wake up Gizmo, you hear the plate mail clanking moving in the opposite direction away from you. Gizmo, Ashe, you are awakened to Lyra and Echo shaking you, or in this case, Echo shaking you psychically by going, wake up, 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 wake up. As you awaken, you hear something moving away from you, but you're not sure what direction it's coming from. It's just like an odd clanking noise. After
Too far for my vision?
You look and you see nothing.
I'm gonna ask Echo if she could hear
Echo also heard it, but didn't see anything.
the direction that the sound is going in.
The shores to the west of you, you heard the sound to the east.
So they're going. It sounds like they're going inland.
Correct.
Okay. Ashe's gonna whisper to Lyra. You didn't see anything, did you?
No. I just heard it.
Do you think we should pursue?
I don't know. It turned away when I'm not the stealthiest. I think I spooked it.
I mean, Echo and I could quickly catch up. It would be obvious, of course.
How far away did it sound?
It's hard to tell. You know, it's the middle of the night.
Should I stay or should I go
Was
now?
it like invisible?
I'm not required to tell you if it is or is not invisible. You can draw that assumption if you'd like.
Can I kind of walk a little bit over here and see if I see any footprints?
As a matter of fact, when you get about 40 paces outside the camp to the east, do you have dark vision?
Gizmo gave me those goggles that gave me dark vision.
Yes. Are these spider-like goggles? I forget about what these goggles are.
I think they are. She
Lower
doesn't
them-
really like wearing them that much anymore.
When you lower them down into your face, you definitely see plate mail boots walking towards, then stopping and sinking in, and quickly turning and moving away.
I guess I'll go back to...
I mean, you think you could
The
just
rest of them.
follow the footsteps.
Do you guys want to follow the footsteps, or do you just want to leave it be?
I'm curious.
Rest is disturbed already, so we might as well investigate.
If you go to sleep now, you'll still get a long rest.
Well, a voice in my head just told me that maybe I should take my long rest.
I'm not saying you have to take a long rest. I'm just... If that is your reasoning, it's not correct. You can still finish out your rest.
A voice in my head says I don't have to take a long rest.
Oh my god.
All right, that's enough of that, though.
I just appear in the fire, out of the fire.
Yeah,
it's me
boosh.
wearing dark robes. He's like,
I like you, the idea of you being like his little voice on his shoulder.
I'm a little. It's an Apgamingreal plushie. It's just my face is like a 2-foot wide plushie.
Yeah.
You only use it at bedtime, though. It's like somebody's pillow. Occasionally, you talk to it, and it gives you answers as to life's persistent questions. So, what's the plan? You're awake, but you could go back to sleep. Neither Ashe nor Gizmo are wearing armor.
So I'm fine either way, to be honest. The way Gizmo, the way that I assume the world would work is if we hear something come towards us and it turns around when it hears us, then maybe it doesn't want to trouble us. So then, we can continue on with our rest.
Well, he might have turned around because he knew that we knew he was there.
Right. So maybe we want to investigate. I'm okay either way. I think Gizmo would probably be like,
all right, Ashe is going to hop on his horse, and he's going to go and look for tracks for this thing. And he's not particularly going to hide himself. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You find them. If you want to follow them, I need a survival check.
Okay.
Can I help him?
I mean, he's riding on a horse, so I assume
you can hop on.
I'll hop on the horse.
Okay. I'll ride Greta.
If he offers it.
When you hop behind the saddle and ride bareback, Echo turns slightly, and her eyes give a celestial spark as she turns to look directly at Ashe. And then her head turns again and she starts riding off. You're hopping on Greta and muling behind them.
Yep.
I should note that a mule specifically has a slower speed than a horse. But you'll fall behind, but it's certainly faster than if you ran.
I'm curious. Is a mule like 25 versus a horse is 30 or what?
I think a horse is like 40 or 50 and the
mule
horse is like
60.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that she's a war horse. She's a horse.
Let
me look at what D&D Beyond has to say about fine steed.
Okay, go ahead. It's a warhorse. Large beast with 60 feet speed, 4 strength, 11 armor class.
Look, I just want to confirm. All right, it does say warhorse, and warhorse does have 60-foot speed. A mule has a speed of
75.
40 feet.
No, just kidding.
Okay, so you're about 33% slower than they are, but at the very least, you're able to keep up within visual range.
40 is a good pace.
40 is a good pace.
Yeah.
It's about 33% faster than a human running. All right. So let me wipe out some of these things. Clear drawings. So Gizmo is back there. Ashe and Lyra are up here. You're riding. You find what you're looking for. Ashe. I need everybody to roll initiative as you get ambushed.
Right.
Initiative.
You catch up pretty quickly. It only takes you several minutes of riding. When suddenly...
Oops. Where's my little icon?
Can I say now at least that I grabbed my weapons? Like, is it assumed that I would grab my weapons? I would have assumed that, but
yes, I assume you're chasing after somebody. You don't have your armor on, but you definitely have weapons.
Okay.
All right. Ashe has an initiative of 8. Lyra has 19.
Oh my gosh, it's the best initiative I've ever rolled on this game. I'm usually last.
Can you move my icon a little bit so I can click on it and then roll initiative?
Are you not on the right map for me? Yeah, you're right over here, right?
Yeah, you're on the left. Gizmo Rumplestomp.
Oh, way back there? Gotcha. There, I see him. All right, so then my initiative.
Yeah, he can't move you forward because, of course, you're further behind.
Gotcha. Understood.
Oh, and if we're going to be initiating combat with Echo, she has her own initiative.
Connor, she just acts on your turn. Just have her act on your turn, Connor.
No.
So fucking complicated when that shit happens.
Yeah, but this method allows me to have 2 turns.
So I want you to imagine that you are riding over the desolate cowboy desert. The night sky has never been more filled with stars and beautiful because there's no light around you except for your own campfire. You go over one small hill, and out of nowhere, that cloak of stars swooshes away, and a super giant dwarf is standing there with a massive hammer that immediately slams into you.
The hammer?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, you're looking at the stars, and then the stars move, and you're like, wait, that's not right. And then a hammer slams into you out of the darkness. And it's probably actually going to target the horse.
So I got the... unless it's a surprise attack, I think I have...
It is a surprise attack because it was invisible until this happened.
I gotta check my feet, I guess.
You're very surprised.
Because the feet might still apply. I don't know.
I think he has advantage on it the first attack because he was invisible. All right, so 15 and 11. Okay, so what do you got for me? What is the AC of Echo, the Wonder Horse?
While you're mounted and are incapacitated, you gain the following benefits. So I can force the attack to target myself instead of my mount.
Okay.
Okay, so I take the blow.
Okay.
And I think I block it. I don't know.
Let me see if that works. What's the feat called?
Mounted combatant. Mounted combatant.
Wouldn't the rolls just be made against you instead of your horse?
That's well, you can choose to have something that targets your mount target you instead.
Uh-huh.
Horse dodge. How do I fight mounted combatant? Doesn't say whether if it would hit the horse, it would also not hit you.
I think you can only target if it's like a melee attack. You can only target the one thing, right?
I mean, it's targeting the horse, and it would hit the horse, and you're taking the hit for the horse.
Right.
The question is, does your armor class apply, or because it would hit the horse, it hits you? Is my question, and there's nothing here to answer that question.
I'm pretty sure it's like you're using your own AC because you're sort of like blocking and you're.
Yeah, my interpretation is you maneuver the horse in a way that puts Ashe's body in the path of the strike instead of the horse's body.
I'll take that for now. I have no. So what is your current armor class?
I think now without the armor, it's 13.
All right, so you're going to take all 3 of these hits.
Yep.
As each one of these hits you, your whole body is racked with a kind of psychic pain, as it doesn't just hit your body, it hits your mind.
Okay.
I didn't mean to click that on my D&D Beyond, sorry.
That's fine.
I didn't know it actually rolled on there.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that. How did you get that to connect?
I don't know. It's just there. I didn't do anything.
Okay.
You take 57 points of damage as 3 hammer strikes ring out.
All right.
The pain is intense. It's nearly enough to kill you.
Yes.
Lyra.
Yes.
This horse has nearly taken 3 hits. Each time Ashe Heiral leaned down and moved his entire body to block it or something, I guess. I don't really know how this works. Ashe majestically took each hit on the chest. Instead of Echo.
Is Ashe like doing really bad? I don't know how much health he has. Does he look bloodied?
Yes, he kind of looks like he just got hit with a super giant hammer 3 times.
I mean, I can put it on the thing and you can see.
Yes, but she's asking what you look like, and you look kind of like you've been hit with a warhammer 3 times.
Now you should be able to see my health bar.
I guess I'll cast Cure Wounds on him at 3rd level.
Okay.
Can I do it from here? Does that do something?
Yes, you're riding on him. Or you're riding on the same object.
No.
So.
I mean
I don't know.
I'm trying to get whatever I did on accident to do it on purpose.
I can't help you there.
Did it do something?
I'm a game master. I don't make characters in games.
I'm really excited.
And the one game
that
I do it in, I do just roll right out of the character sheet.
Did it cast?
It did.
Yes.
And it's only 12 hit points, which is terrible.
Yeah,
it's not great.
Didn't seem like a lot. But thank you.
Gizmo Rumplestomp. You are looking at a giant black-skinned dwarf wearing plate mail and a cloak, wielding a massive warhammer, slamming into Ashe Heiral over and over again. It has suddenly appeared out of the stars.
And is it 5 feet closer to Ashe than it seems?
Nope, it's that far away.
So is that like reach?
Yes,
Are we looking at
because it's 10 feet tall now.
Okay. And how do I check the range again?
On the tools on the left-hand side, you're going to find a circle with a ruler coming out of it.
Okay. No snapping, probably. All right, so he's 80 plus feet. And crossbow short range at what? Is 30 feet?
Correct.
Okay. So
you could
Greta
ride Greta close enough.
I want to bring her as far as I can go. I can't grab her.
That's because you still have the ruler tool.
Yes, you are right. So if she's there, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 40. Correct?
Yep.
Okay. And then I'll shoot 2 crossbows.
You're still outside of 30-foot range. You could have her double move, which would get you within 30 feet easily, depending on where you move to.
And I can still attack?
Correct.
Okay.
Because Greta is not you.
She's my war mule.
I am going to ask you to make a animal handling check, because mules are not trained at combat. And you don't have the mounted combatant feat.
Okay, so let's do that first. So I need to do animal handling first.
Oh, that's bad. All right. She moves to wherever you stop her at. We'll talk about what happens next round.
All right, so now let me just hold on. I want to check.
Folks at home, that was a 3. And look, we rolled 2 animal handlings in one session.
Dun dun dun.
I think this is the only character I have made that doesn't have animal handling as well. It's my favorite skill.
They never roll. But every character should be proficient in perception. You're never not going to use it.
All right, I'll cast Sanctuary on Ashe.
Wow. So much for wow. Ho, 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 ho.
What?
Oh.
That,
I mean, that's good.
What is that again?
It's you can no longer be hit unless he makes a will save. He has to do something else. Is it touch? Nope. 30-foot area. It's a bonus action. What do you want to do with your regular action?
Okay, so regular action will be 1 shot to the giant dwarf, and then the bonus action will be... Wait, can I do an attack and a sanctuary bonus action?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, 1 shot with sneak attack. And that means I gotta go over here, and I gotta go over here. And it's just this weapon here.
Your tiny needle lashes out, impacts with the plate armor, and then bounces off the rounded part and flies off into the desert.
Oh wow, that 15 didn't even hit, huh?
Not even close.
Okay.
Not remotely. Ashe Heiral.
Well, so then I can do the sanctuary. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So currently this Duergar is large, right?
Correct.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to use Legendary Strike, which gives me you can crit on 19s, and then I'm going to attack the Duergar with the longsword. Am I within range right now?
Nope. You need to move closer because he's got one.
So I'm going to use my bonus action to do Legendary Strike, and I'm going to ready an action when I get in range to hit the Duergar with the longsword.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you gonna move at Echo in range, or are you gonna wait for him to come to you? Because he can hit you from where he's standing.
He can hit me from where I'm standing. Oh
yes.
yeah, because
he
his
doesn't have
turn
to
is
move.
right. Yes.
He has 10-foot reach. He can hit anybody located on the horse because you're all 10 feet from him. If you want to hit him, you either need a reach weapon or you're going to have Echo walk closer.
Right, but she's got a separate movement.
I'm telling you that you can take your turn at the same time as the fucking horse, because otherwise we end up with situations like this where you're like, I'm ready in action, and then I'm like, arr! You and the horse move at the same time.
Yeah, but I want to be able to disengage and hit somebody at the same time, and with the same.
You can do that.
Oh, I
mean, the horse can disengage, but you can't, because if you're taking an action, you can't also disengage.
Right now, it's the horse's movement to move forward, right?
Sure, you can do that now, and then you can take your attack and then finish the horse's actions, and then finish your actions and movement. Connor, you could take all of them simultaneously, just so that this isn't a massive pain in the ass.
Also, yours and Echo's initiative is pretty much the same.
Yes.
It's close, but actually the Duergar interrupts it, so that did.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't, because it's an 8 and a 9. Look,
no,
8, 9,
I
4.
said don't roll for her, and I'm taking her off. She doesn't exist on the initiative order. She acts at the same time as you.
Okay. So right now,
and even if she did, she had a 9, so she would still go before you. But she doesn't have a 9 because she's got the same initiative as you. Stop making this complicated. You're like a Pathfinder paladin.
Okay.
This is so easy. You act at the same time. Connor's like, now I have to figure out how to do what I want the easy way. I knew how to do it the hard way. all I needed was several readied actions, a disengage action, and 14 moves. Now I have to do 3 things. Move, hit, disengage. It's too hard. Are you actually gonna do this, Connor, or what?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move forward and I'm gonna hit the thing with the sword thing.
All right. Okay. Your sanctuary drops as soon as you attack.
Does it?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Well, what was? Okay.
No.
As long as
fine.
you're not being violent towards the creature, it stays.
So then I should stop, right?
No. In hindsight, I should have casted something else. Just do your attack.
Okay.
You charge forward on Echo, and your sword is turned from this armor.
At 18? Wow.
Yep. Nope.
Wow.
You ride forward with massive swings, the whole force, legendary strikes behind you. Ching! Ching! Sparks fly in the night. It's pretty fucking epic.
But ineffectual.
Correct. This dwarf-work steel seems to have some reinforcement behind it. And it's also plate mail, so it's pretty dang high.
Yep.
Do you want to have Echo finish moving or take a disengage action or move away?
Yeah. Echo's going to disengage and move.
Now, I want to remind you that if you move Echo outside of this thing's range, it still gets an attack of opportunity on you.
No, because Ashe isn't moving. Ashe
is moving the horse.
I don't because technically Ashe is being moved by the horse.
All right, you know what? I'll buy this for now, and I'm going to do some very serious research into this. And when I get the real rules, Connor, you probably won't like it. So for now, you can have Echo disengage all you want and move wherever you want to.
All right.
You can just teleport at this point.
Now the question is, actually, do I want that? I don't know.
Oh my god!
Because Gizmo, I don't want Gizmo to get hurt.
I'm glad that you mentioned something like that. Because when the turn comes around, he charges it at Gizmo and goes to beat Greta to death. So what's Greta's AC? I mean, she's just a mule, right? Well, that's not gonna hit.
Thank goodness.
He goes to smash Greta, and she takes one sidestep and moves laterally away from him, and he like cracks the ground. Shrapnel goes flying in every direction, and Greta is perfectly fine. Yeah, that hits. I mean, I don't remember what a mule has in hit points, but I'm gonna bet that it's probably not this.
It might be
18.
I don't know how much I should look up hit points for a mule, because I don't know either.
Okay, you definitely need to know your own mule stats. The mule dies.
Okay.
Technically, she's dying. He hits the mule, and something breaks, and you fall down with her. Can you make a athletics check to stand up as she goes down, so that you don't get crushed beneath her and go prone? Nope. All right, you're prone, so he has advantage on this attack. Wow, a 11 to hit. I'm guessing
you gotta take off your AC, your armor, Gizmo. Like, Rob.
Yep. That gives me it, because I don't. Let me check my dex. So my AC is going to be 12.
On D&D Beyond, you should check it. You should normally do it.
With the power of D&D Beyond. So he goes to bring the hammer down on you, and you're struggling beneath Greta, and you roll just out of the way. You feel the force of the hammer hit the ground, and your whole body, even Greta's body, lifts about a half inch off the ground at the force of this blow. And as he withdraws his hammer, you each get 700 hit points, and we end this episode.
What?
I meant 700 experience points.
Okay.
I said hit points, but that was wrong.
I like the hit point idea.
Nope, you don't get any hit points. In fact, you get negative hit points. You all
Yeah.
lose hit points for questioning me.
Managed experience. 700. Nice.
How are we feeling about this episode?
That was all the bathhouse stuff, you know?
No, it wasn't.
Really?
It was exploring new areas.
The bathhouse role-playing was just so on point that you got experience.
Sure, you get a little bit of experience for that, but it's mostly setting out to do new things. And I gotta be honest, most of it was probably finding a job for the drow.
Yeah,
you vouched for them, you found them a job, you paid for their employment. I mean, those are big moves.
Yeah,
and you solved the problem of key.
Sort of. I suppose.
Okay.
Still owe lots of money.
Take it. You solved the problem of key, yeah.
Yes, we did. Yes. It was most excellent solving.
Most excellent.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Who knows how badass this Durgar is at 20 freaking...
Well, with that armor class,
We're gonna need some Lyra lightning storms up in this business.
I know. I was so excited. I was getting ready to cast Call Lightning, and he's just like, "We're ending it."
You better write down that you're casting Call Lightning at the beginning.
I
of the
will
next
remember.
episode.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
ready.
I've heard that before.
I'm like a one-trick pony. It's gonna be Call Lightning.
All right. Okay. We're going to do outros, and in the process, we're going to ask, how do you eat your steak? Conorhughes, how do you eat your steak?
Raw to medium rare, or rare to medium rare. Not raw. Depending
Really?
on the
Rare? You live fucking dangerously, brother.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the restaurant. I have had one bad experience with rare burger meat at a restaurant, and that was pretty awful. But aside from that, only good experiences. Well, so my name is Conorhughes. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. That was a lot of fun. I hope everyone had some fun, and look forward to next week. The best steakhouse in New Jersey, for anyone who wants to know, is Steve's Steakhouse on Route 13, or Rutherford. It's good, and at a reasonable price. You used to be, at least like 10 years ago, you could get like a good sized steak for like $18-20.
There are Brazilian steakhouses in New Jersey, so I know for a fact that you're wrong.
I like the Rodizio at a Brazilian place. I'm not sure if I would. I mean, yeah, they're gonna have good steak, of course. This place is very good, though. I do recommend it.
Okay. robSHEPart, how do you get your steak?
Medium rare every time.
Nothing else with it? Okay.
Well, it depends on the steak. There's a Carver's Steakhouse that's near my house, and I love their medium rare ribeye, and they put a sweet and hot chili sauce on top. It's fantastic.
What do you got for an outro?
My outro is, hey guys, I'm probably not going to be streaming tonight. Unfortunately, I got real work to do, but you can catch me on Patreon, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. If not, look for me on Twitch. I will be drawing, a couple times a week, and hopefully someone will stop by. Cotton, over to you.
Actually, I want to jump back to Connor because I don't think I asked him his outro. I just got so disgusted by his steak choices. Connor, what do you have? For an outro?
I did roughly say my outro.
I couldn't remember it between.
What is so bad about us? Like
a rare steak? I mean, you're eating beef tartare at that point. You're gonna fall over and die.
It's good. I mean, if you get the right steak.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure it tastes good, but it'll also kill you.
I mean, and if it doesn't, it'll make you stronger.
No, that's not how it works. It just leaves you weaker for the next thing to kill you.
No, I'm pretty sure it makes you stronger. That's what everything has told me so far in D&D.
I just told you that it'll leave you weaker for the next thing to kill you. What if something dies and puts a curse on you? Does that leave you stronger or weaker?
Depends. What kind of curse is it?
The curse kind? A thing intentionally designed to make you weaker.
Look, I was just watching like one of those. It's like a Sleeping Beauty type, fairy tale.
Yeah,
with my daughter. And
what's it called?
Well, it's these old like cartoons I used to watch as a kid from Saban. They're like these like anime versions of all the Grimm's fairy tales. Grimm's fairy tales classics. Anyway, I mean, everyone gets cursed and they have to fall asleep, right, for several years presumably. But then the prince comes along and like solves it, and then they end up working out pretty well. Like,
how does he solve it?
In this case, he nearly is about to kiss her, and then actually, I think he just sort of like, I think a rose pops up out of the thorns that are sort of crawling all over her, and it blossoms as he gets close, and then that sort of like displaces the curse.
That's so disgustingly fairy tale. I hate it. I hate every part of it.
I love this series.
Nope, I hate it.
It's really good. I will post a link up for anyone who wishes to have a playlist of this fantastic series that no one really watched.
Cotton, how do you like your steak?
Medium rare, and I really like it when they put herb butter on top of it.
Yeah, that's good.
There you go. That's an accoutrement. What you got for an outro?
I'm Cotton. I doodle and stuff. You can find me on EP's Thursday night shows, and his Tuesday night shows, of course, and Ponder the Mad Sunday night, just stole game.
You're sweet?
That's all.
Can get you into that, huh? All right. That's it. We'll be back next week? Question mark. Everybody good?
Yep. Where's your outro, AP?
I don't have an outro.
I thought you normally do, right?
Yeah, maybe, but I really solidly feel like when people watch my shows, they know who I am and where I'm going to show up at next.
Never know.
My outro is that I don't have a favorite type of steak. I cook my own food, so it's hard to say what and when I will come out with, but well done and rare are not options I will ever take, except flank steak. Flank steak can be fine, well done.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Flank steak is not a steak that you need to cook rare. It can be good rare, though. I will say that. As someone who worked as a restaurant,
this is a man who's going to get parasites. That's all I have to say. I can say
that it was good.
Connor Parasite Hughes. It's just parasites all the way down.
We'll find out. I mean, anything could take me, and we'll find out if that's the thing.
If you want a good outro, join me tomorrow afternoon when I keep cracking ships with Shipbreaker Hardspace. I'm going to do a stream. Connor, will you join me? Will you watch and make snide comments as I break the ship apart?
I'll try. It
well,
looks like a cool
I'll be
game.
there, and I'll be doing my southern accent. So
that's a pretty good accent. I like it.
Thank you. It's a real accent because I really lived in West Virginia for 13 years. And Tennessee, Atlanta, Louisiana, kind of really just got the South covered.
It's not an unpleasant version of that accent.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that you don't think that my voice is unpleasant, Connor. That's the nicest thing anyone said to me today.
See?
You're not unpleasant. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Hey, in
bless your heart, Connor Hughes. Bless your heart.
I liked your accent, so that was even more positive. So the two most positive things you got today are from me.
Connor, go watch Old Town Road and the other thing I sent you, Chocolate Rain.
Right. I will do that.
That's it. I'm doing the end screen now. Have a good night, audience.
Hi, guys.